What's up, guys? I'm DK, and you're watching Pro Wrestling What If, the series where I look at the different what if scenarios as terms of the world that we call professional wrestling. John Cena had a strong start in 2008 by winning the Royal Rumble at Entry 30, last eliminating Triple H. However, as the year continued, it didn't exactly go well for the guy who had been placed as the face of the company. He would cash in his WrestleMania title opportunity at No Way Out against Randy Orton, and even though he won the match, it would be via a disqualification when Randy Orton slapped the referee in the face. John Cena, due to that incident, was still able to be placed in the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania 24, but was unsuccessful at winning the title. He would lose two more championship matches at Backlash and Night of Champions, followed by losing a #1 contender match to JBL at the Great American Bash. When it came to SummerSlam, he would have a first-time ever singles encounter with the Animal Batista, but didn't go as planned, not only because he would lose to Batista, but he would also suffer a neck injury during the match. Now, it was expected for John Cena to be on the shelf for about a year, but somehow he made it back in 3 months to win the World Heavyweight Championship from Chris Jericho at Survivor Series 2008. Now, although it was only 3 months that John Cena was gone, what would storylines have been like had he simply not gotten injured in 2008? So that's going to be the topic of today's video. We're discussing what if John Cena was never injured in 2008. And for this video, we'll be going on a pay-per-view by pay-per-view basis, starting off with Unforgiven in 2008 and work our way up until WrestleMania 25 in 2009. Especially because we all know John Cena definitely had different plans instead of that triple threat match with Edge and Big Show. And if you end up enjoying this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share this to all your friends, subscribe, and press the notification bell for when future episodes get released, and leave a comment down below about today's topic or suggesting a future topic for an episode of Pro Wrestling What If. Starting off with Unforgiven, he would be involved in a scramble match for the World Heavyweight Championship against Batista, JBL, Kane, and the reigning champion CM Punk. Now, when it came to this scramble match, CM Punk never got to defend the title due to being attacked by Randy Orton earlier in the night, thus having him be replaced by Chris Jericho, who ended up getting the last pinfall and becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. John Cena was originally going to be a part of this match until it was revealed that he had neck issues that required surgery and time off. So now that he's not injured and is a part of this match, this means that Rey Mysterio wouldn't be in the match as he was John Cena's replacement. Now, the reason behind the attack on CM Punk was to get the World Heavyweight Championship into the Jericho-Michaels feud. But had John Cena not been injured, I don't think that would have been the case. The Jericho-Michaels feud was already strong enough to where they didn't need a championship involved. But WWE weren't fond of having the title on CM Punk much longer than he already had. With the face of the company not being injured, I think that they would have decided to have him win the World Heavyweight Championship during the scramble and not have CM Punk removed from the match, doing the exact ending that Chris Jericho did, where he would sneak in a pin at the last second to win it when it looked like Batista was going to become champion. Next up is No Mercy, where I think John Cena would defend the World Heavyweight Championship against JBL. JBL at this event had challenged Batista to determine the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship and face the winner of Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels' ladder match for the title at Cyber Sunday. However, Batista in this timeline would be on the shelf to be able to recover from his torn hamstring injury that he suffered at SummerSlam that was delayed until December. With Batista recovering, Kane feuding with Rey Mysterio, and WWE not wanting Punk in that title scene, JBL is the only contender left from that scramble match that could challenge John Cena for the title at No Mercy. Due to John Cena winning the title at Unforgiven, he would be retaining the World Heavyweight Championship during this match. When it comes to the Chris Jericho-Shawn Michaels match during the event, I think because it's not for the title now that it wouldn't have been a ladder match. It would be a stipulation though, as this would be the final match between the two. Chris Jericho, just like in the real timeline, would pick up the win to cement himself as the top heel of the WWE, and in the process would be the next challenger for John Cena's World Heavyweight Championship. Next up would be Cyber Sunday, where John Cena would defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Chris Jericho with Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special guest referee. Chris Jericho had walked into this event as the champion, defending the title against Batista with Stone Cold Steve Austin as the special guest referee. That 74% of fans voted for this match, while the other options were Shawn Michaels at 22% and Randy Orton at a whopping 4%. So I think we would get the same scenario here with John Cena going in as champion and Chris Jericho as the challenger, still resulting in Chris Jericho losing with the overbooked mess that the match ended up being with Jericho and Batista, and having Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena celebrate with a couple of cold ones at the end. Survivor Series 2008, we would have a Survivor Series elimination tag team match with Team Cena, which has John Cena, CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, Matt Hardy, and R-Truth, against Team Jericho that would have Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Mark Henry, Randy Orton, and William Regal. Now, this was the event where John Cena had returned from his neck injury and defeated Chris Jericho to win the World Heavyweight Championship. However, with Batista being on the shelf, they wouldn't have been able to do the Team Batista versus Team Orton Survivor Series match that happened at this event, so the WWE Championship would be the only World Championship that's defended at this event. Now that we have Team Cena against Team Jericho for this event, would be almost the same participants as Batista and Orton, but with a few replacements like John Cena replacing Batista in this case. Speaking of Batista, he would be making his return at this event to cost Chris Jericho's team the win as he begins to feud with Randy Orton. Not only did Randy Orton and Batista feud in the real timeline here, but Randy Orton would write off Batista with an attack instead of CM Punk that happened at Unforgiven, thus being able to still have the rivalry between each other when it comes to this timeline. Team Cena would also win considering the event took place in hometown territory in Boston, Massachusetts. Yes, I know John Cena's from West Newbury, Massachusetts, but it's the closest to that hometown. At Armageddon 2008, we would have John Cena once again defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Chris Jericho. Now, this match had actually happened at Armageddon with Chris Jericho winning a triple threat #1 contender match on Raw against Batista and Randy Orton, setting up the Batista-Randy Orton match for Armageddon that happened and having Chris Jericho get another shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. For the World Heavyweight Championship match, unlike the real timeline, after some shenanigans occurred during it, Chris Jericho would defeat John Cena and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Batista and Randy Orton would stay the same, with Batista winning but becomes the new #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Shout out goes to Jackson Weingart, Jada Sanchez, Fox Starkiller, Lola Pines, Hayden Sarabo, Harry Dynamite Storm, Skolchin, Wesley Conklin, Spidey Fan Productions 2003, Mr. Randomizer, and T-Dog. And the reason that they ended up getting a shout out is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shout out, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and shorts that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated and will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video. For Royal Rumble, we would have Chris Jericho defending the World Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat match against Batista and John Cena. At this event, John Cena had defended the World Heavyweight Championship against JBL. However, with JBL already challenged for the title at No Mercy in this timeline, then I don't think he would be challenging for it at Royal Rumble as well. This triple threat match would be able to happen due to Batista being the #1 contender and John Cena being the previous champion, invoking a rematch clause. When it comes to this match, just as John Cena executes the attitude adjustment on Chris Jericho, Batista throws Cena out of the ring, picking up the scraps and becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. Almost identical to the situation that happened at Unforgiven, with John Cena winning the title during the Scramble match. Randy Orton would still be entering the Royal Rumble match and winning it like in the real timeline. WWE had tried doing a Randy Orton Triple H singles title match at WrestleMania on 2 occasions and wanted to make sure 2009 was going to be the year. First was for WrestleMania 21, where Randy Orton was going to take what ended up being Batista's spot by dethroning Triple H and becoming the World Heavyweight Champion. And the other was the year prior in 2008 when they wanted to run a singles match for the WWE Championship before John Cena made his return from injury earlier than expected. Another topic we talked about on Pro Wrestling What If. For No Way Out, there would be an Elimination Chamber match where the winner gets a World Heavyweight Championship match at WrestleMania 25, which has CM Punk, John Cena, Kofi Kingston, Kane, Mike Mike Knox and Rey Mysterio. Now, of course, the World Heavyweight Championship was defended inside the Elimination Chamber, but this time it will be defended in a singles match between Batista and Chris Jericho. This scenario does change a few things, including the fact that Edge doesn't enter 2 chamber matches in the same night since 2 world titles aren't on the line. This also means that Kofi Kingston would actually be able to compete in the match since he was attacked by Edge and had his spot taken by him. I'm just gonna make this quick by saying John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber match and Batista retains the World Heavyweight Championship, because I'm sure we all know where this is going. And last but not least, WrestleMania 25, where we would have John Cena versus Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. John Cena had many previous plans for WrestleMania 25, which the first was to have a singles match against Hulk Hogan until he needed back surgery, which I am using quotations on the words back surgery. The next plan was to have John Cena versus Batista 2 at the event as a rematch from SummerSlam 2008 until Batista needed his surgery in December. Then it was going to be the first WrestleMania singles match between Edge and John Cena like we wanted back at WrestleMania 22. Hence why Edge entered a second Elimination Chamber match and walked out with a different World Championship at the end of the night. Big Show ended up getting inserted into the match, making it a triple threat, all due to John Cena not wanting Big Show to miss out on a spot on the card of WrestleMania 25. Like I mentioned near the beginning, Batista's hamstring injury had happened at SummerSlam 2008 when John Cena had suffered his neck injury. And I think the reason Batista was still wrestling with that injury while John Cena was gone was for 2 reasons. First would be that the injury would not have been as severe as it was when he ended up needing surgery in December, thus being able to compete. The second reason would be WWE needing to have Batista compete while John Cena was injured in order to have star power on the Raw brand. Since it just so happens that when John Cena returned in November, Batista would have been gone a few weeks later to get his surgery. With John Cena not injured in 2008, this would have allowed Batista to begin the recovery process early and be able to be cleared to compete at WrestleMania 25. Just like with the real timeline, John Cena would be walking out of WrestleMania 25 once again as the World Heavyweight Champion. It was always going to be the plan that Batista would win the first match, then John Cena would win the second match, and I can see a world where this match at WrestleMania 25 may have actually been better than the one they actually had a year later at WrestleMania 26.